question, how to track and monitor the action items as a Scrum Master. One assumption that I'm making, like Sunil mentioned in the question, is maybe the action items are being generated as part of the retro or retrospective meeting or retrospective discussion. Now, in that case, the action item can be of any type. It can be of a functional, which can be related to a particular user story, or it can go in the backlog as one of our other Jira issues. It can be one of the enablers, which has the ownership, wherein the ownership lies with the database team, infrastructure team, network team, or any other team, which enables us to execute or perform a future Jira or a user story. It can be something related to definition of done, which needs refinement or which needs to be handled for our team. It can be something which is whose ownership should lie with one of the person in the management. It can also be an action item which is to another Scrum team, which might be upstream or downstream to us. So in all these cases, the tracking and the monitoring process would be different for each owner. Broadly, I am defining it in 4 categories. First is if an action item lies within our team. If it's within our team, any team member, Scrum team member, it can be PO, Scrum Master, or development team member. In any of this case, let's say it's a functional impacting action item. We put it up in our product backlog, and then the usual process continues. We have our refinements, we do our grooming, we see the priority, we see what's going to be the value addition, and then we see in which sprint can this be planned. And again, whenever we are doing sprint planning, we see and we try and seek a balance between the directly value generating user stories plus this new one that we generated as part of a retro session. Next can be another functional item, but the dependency lies across maybe to an upstream Scrum team or a downstream Scrum team. Now, if that's the case, similar to previous one and to this one, we again put it up in the Jira in the specific product backlog, and we tell, okay, this is something that we believe should be an action item in your product backlog. We discuss with them, we get the understandings straightened out, and then we identify who's going to be the person who's going to be working from that particular team. If they don't know right away, maybe we can put up their Scrum Master's name or product owner's name at that point in time, and then we say, okay, by when we can come back to understand when are you going to plan this. In that case, the ETA, at least ETA can be defined, and we would know, okay, starting when the tracking and monitoring should start. Once that is identified, we can then again go back to them and then understand if that ETA is finalized out. And then if there is a dependency on our team, we can then start to work in that direction. And then to monitor that action item, we can then utilize the forums like Scrum of Scrums or a common discussion forum, which is happening for all the team members, wherein 1 or 2 people from each team is participating, discussing and sharing progress, maybe a challenge or a risk as well. So that would really help in tracking and monitoring that particular action item. Now, third, like I said, enablers. Now, enablers can be anything that would help us for a future Jira issue. It can be for the database team, wherein they are helping us to, let's say, build the structure of the database, build the schema. For example, if it's with the network team, it might we might go to them to open up a few IPs to get the IPs whitelisted. Or let's say if it's with the network team, we might request them to open a channel for one particular IP, or just to monitor the traffic. In any of these ways, if again if that particular team is on Jira, we again create that Jira, assign it to them, link it with our impacting user story, and that's how we track it. We can put up a comment on that Jira issue which is assigned to them. We can ask questions. Once we have the ETA, we can again talk to that person offline or on the call, or if they are participating in the Scrum of Scrums or that common forum, we can question them about the ETA and what's the progress, maybe challenges and risk as well. So that's one way to do it. Last is if the action item lies with a management person more often than not, they would not be on the Jira portal because they might not have a team, for example. So in that case, we would have to first identify who's going to be the person who's going to work on it. It might also happen that the action item lies with one of the person from the HR team members for some reason. That can also be a possible outcome. In that case, we have to identify who's the actual owner who's going to work on it. Get the ETA, again follow up by when we would have our responses on mail or on a quick call, put up moms. At the end of the day, get the progress sorted. If the things are not done by that point in time, understand the challenge on their end, and then again continue to follow up. That's one way. Bottom line is, whatever the number of action item is, we need to have a common central point wherein all the action items from the discussion, let's say retro, they are summarized with the minutes, and a tabular form is created with all the action items. If there are Jira numbers, we can put up Jira numbers for each row, and then continue to follow. Whatever the progress is, whoever wants to know, they can directly go. Once the Jira is done, automatically that would shown as a striked out number, and then we would know, yeah, that's particularly done. Whenever we are starting our next retro session, at the beginning itself, we need to revisit and recap our previous few discussions, to do action item kind of a discussion, wherein we understand if particular thing was done or not. That's important, because if it was not done and it is still impacting us somehow, we need to do two things. First, what is a workaround that we can put up in place if that can be done? If not, let's say that is yet to be done, we can again speak out loud that this particular issue is still out there, it's not done, it's in progress, or there is no challenge or risk, but it's going to happen in a few days or whatever. And this again should not come in our discussion for today. Now that's important, because we should not reinvent the wheel and again come back to the same issue. That's baseline. So that's the answer for the question.
Hi all, this is Kirti, and today's question is, how do we track our action items? And the other thing I could derive out of the question was, how do we track the retro action items? So when talking in terms of action items, there can be two categories for it. One which is on me, which is about the day-to-day activities, the scrum events, or which is the outcome of any meetings or anything which I need to cater, any matrix, any reporting which I need to do. The second thing is about which is the outcome of the retrospective. So when going through the retrospective tracker, in the retrospective itself, we decide on action item who would going to take it up, right? So once that is decided, we maintain it in Confluence page, where there is a task board macro which you can use, where you can actually you can put a label as to do and add the rate and the name of that person itself, so that gets reflected on their board also, and it's transparent, easily available, and everybody can see it. So this is about noting it down. Now how do we track it in our day-to-day life? So what we usually do is we create subtask as part of one of the stories, and we put that action item against that person. So in the daily scrum itself, it gets revisited every time, and it also acts as a reminder to the person to whom that action needs to take. Like example, UTC coverage of legacy code needs to be increased by maybe 10%. So whoever has opted out that I will be voting on it, I will be working on it. So we create subtasks for those stories where such tasks can get revisited during the daily scrum, and it gets actioned upon. If we directly go to the retrospective and then discuss on what we discussed in the last retrospective, in all possibility, since we have a lot of priority work and development work to be done, it might get lost. So this is what I would like to say, that retro items can be tracked through creating subtasks if you are using Jira. If not, through the Excel tool, whatever tool you are using, or whatever thing you are revisiting during your daily scrum. If you are not revisiting anything during your daily scrum, it's just verbal stand-up kind of a thing, then make sure you have a REDA matrix or something where actually not exactly REDA, it's basically for risk and dependency, but something which is visible to the team throughout the day. If there is a physical board in your office where you are maintaining, you can put there. Okay, so this is about retro action items tracking, and how where you are maintaining you can put there. Okay, so this is about retro action items tracking, and how do I track it as a person. The second thing is action item switches upon me. So what the best thing what I feel is, I like there is a code commit report or something which we need to send. So I create a meeting request in my calendar, so that it becomes visible to all that I am busy during that day. It acts as a reminder to me also that this is the duration where I need to send, and I get some dedicated time to make that report. So all for metrics reporting and all I do this. For day-to-day action items where I need to send any follow-ups or collaborate with any team or schedule some trainings or all those kind of things, I prepare that in OneNote. So every day when I log in, I check my emails, I check my OneNote, and so that nothing gets lost and I get reminded of something which is most important and more urgent. So this is how I do my day-to-day tracking. So thank you.
Working on the action items. So the priority would be defined for all those action items. Based on that, my energy and focus would be put onto those respective action items. If I want to focus on first 5 action items, based on the priority, I would pick up the first one and then put my energy and focus into it. Once it is done, I will move on to the second one. If I want to finish 5 action items in a week, I would see which one is taking priority in a particular day. And moving on to the 4th day, for example, if I want to focus on the 4th item, if based on the situation, if the 5th one is taking more priority, again I would reshuffle my priority and give my attention to the respective 5th action item, so that there is deliverables happening without any problem. It is going seamlessly.
Hello everyone, today's topic is, as a Scrum Master, how do you track your action item, whether it is a daily basis or whether it is a weekly basis or just before the retrospective. As a Scrum Master, whatever action item is on a Scrum Master or on me, that I used to track in daily basis. Suppose I need to make the dashboard clear in such a way that it's whenever leadership is look into that, they should have the clear picture what is the current scope or overall scope for the particular release, and how team is progressing towards that release, whether the release burn down chart or the sprint burn down chart is properly aligned, and the team is updating their task on daily basis. So all these things being showcased in the dashboard, and as a Scrum Master I need to make sure that everything should be in place or should be in track. Also, if I need to get some follow-up from a particular team member who is the action owner of a particular action item, then that can be done on daily basis. So better way that you can start tracking those action item during the stand-up call, because in stand-up call most of the team member will be available, and action item fresh in everyone's mind. It is better that you should take, or you should develop few techniques through which you can get deep or you can track those action item in daily basis. First of all, team should understand, or team should come up with the solution by their own. They should tell the action point for which they have the problem. So the team should come up with the solution by their own. It's not that you as a Scrum Master will tell that okay, this is the problem and this is the action item should be taken care of. It should be the team responsibility. So as a Scrum Master, you can guide them in such a way that, or you can create in the environment so that they can brainstorm the thing, and they can come up with their own solution. Once they come up with their own solution, you as a Scrum Master, you can guide the team to take the ownership of those particular action item. You can go for the ambassador technique, where all the team member can nominate one person who can own the action item, and whenever the action item comes, that particular person is the entire team to do the same. This ambassador technique you can follow for tracking the action item. Next thing is that you can, with the help of the product owner and also with the agreement of team, you can put that particular action item at the top of the sprint backlog. Whenever the sprint backlog starts, with the help of the product owner, you can create the action item story, and then you can create multiple tasks in it, and you can assign the owner of those particular tasks. Because whenever we come for the daily stand-up call and we can go through the user stories, so this action item, if it comes in the sprint backlog, this also whenever we are going through it, it definitely team has to work on that. They knows that these are the action item on them, so it's better to have it in the sprint backlog rather than just taking the action point during the next sprint retrospective. Next, third technique is, which I already discussed, that keep tracking or keep discussing all these things in the daily stand-up call. In that way, okay, one more point I would like to discuss here is, whenever they are owning that particular action item, there must be some end date of it, like within that particular time period they need to finish that particular task. So as a scrum master, you have to tell the team that for those action item, they need to come up with the deadline. They should have the follow-up plan and the deadline of it. So for that, you don't tell team to give the deadline. It is the team responsibility, or you guide the team in such a way that think in that perspective, that what is the urgency, what is the risk involved in it. Based on that, they can take the decision whether that particular task can be, or action item can be done within particular time frame or not. So let them have a deadline for each action item. And as a scrum master, you also tell them that you can ask them for a follow-up. So as a scrum master, you can or you may ask team as a follow-up date. So like before ending whatever time they have given, before that it's must be possible that as a scrum master you can go to the team and ask for the follow-up. So they should not think about that you are doing a micromanagement thing. The trust should be built in such a way that that you can ask a team about the follow-up thing, because team have many priorities of work. They must be it's might possible that they are not able to finish that particular action item on time, and during the follow-up call you have got to know that they are finding some difficulties, or there are some blockers is there, or impediments are coming in their way. So as a scrum master, it is your responsibility to remove all those blockers or impediments, or you can work with the team in such a way that they can overcome this particular situation. So it is nothing like that you are micromanaging the team by asking the date, or just keep on checking on the things, or following up on the action item. It is nothing like that. So that team can work smoothly, and that can be done on a particular time. So you can convince the team